lovelies, thank you for tuning in to today's video. As you can probably tell, it's a little bit of a different video. I usually do like Trader Joe's hauls and like weight loss journey videos and stuff like that. That's obviously going to continue, but today's video is going to be about anxiety, and while it is not like a super happy topic to be talking about, I am excited to be making the video and collabing with Alesha, as you can probably tell in the title. Just because I feel like the more people that talk about anxiety and just mental health issues in general, the less stigma around it there is. And I know that, I mean, I've definitely fallen down a YouTube hole more than once of watching like anxiety related videos or whatever for a little while, even while being anxious, just to kind of relax you, and it makes you feel less alone. So if you get nothing else from this video, I hope that you just feel a little bit less alone, or feel like maybe you can relate to something here, or you find something that can help you when you're feeling anxious. So I'm gonna jump right on into it. This is going to be just some things I do when I'm feeling anxious. So the first thing that I do when I am feeling anxious, and when I mean feeling anxious, I do want to make it clear that I don't just mean like, I guess, normal anxiety. It is normal to have some anxiety throughout your life. There is a reason that the emotion is there, that we have a flight or fight response. The issue becomes when you have that response to no outside stimuli. Nothing's going on. You could just be sitting here filming a video, and all of a sudden you can feel like your heart rate start to go up. You feel like something bad's gonna happen, impending doom, or maybe you're worrying about something in your head, or just, I don't even know. It's a lot to kind of explain in one video, and I don't know about you, but just talking about, like, explaining how anxiety can make you feel, like, makes me anxious. Just, yeah, I don't know. But I have actually been diagnosed with anxiety. I'm not just talking about things I do when, like, I'm nervous about being late to work or something. Just to be clear. The first thing that I do when I am feeling that, like this type of anxious, is honestly stop whatever I'm doing for at least a couple seconds. I mean, sometimes you can't stop for 5 minutes and just relax and chill. You can be at work, you can be whatever, but you always just have a moment to just kind of stop and just, like, that honestly is the first thing I do. I do at least 1 or 2 of those. If I can do more, then I'll just keep doing the deep breathing. But if I honestly can only get in 1 or 2 deep breaths, it just makes a world of difference. It doesn't make my anxiety go away completely, but it just kind of stops me in my tracks from whatever thought pattern or whatever is kind of triggering the anxiety, to kind of take a moment, breathe, and then come out of it, and then kind of assess what's going on. So if there's a thought pattern going on, I can try to, like, turn my thoughts somewhere else. If I started feeling anxious or started having an attack out of nowhere, like, to me, it really does feel like nowhere. If nothing happened, I wasn't thinking really about anything, I was even listening to my favorite song, and all of a sudden I just feel like, oh my god, I need to run from this thing that's not here, then I will kind of move into these other things. So the breathing is like my first step, and everything kind of comes after that. If that doesn't work, probably the next thing I would do, I do all of these things in different order, so I'm not going to say everything after the deep breathing is in this exact order, but the deep breathing is always first. These other things could come whenever. But one of the things that really helps me, so I guess my second tip would be to just remind yourself that this is just anxiety. These are just like the thoughts in your head. You're ruminating over something, or you're worrying about something that either hasn't happened, already happened, and you can't change anyway, that could never happen, or just some completely just bizarre scenario, or there's nothing, and just reminding yourself that it's not your reality. just because you're feeling this way and maybe thinking this way, it's not your reality. So if you feel like this impending doom sensation and you're just sitting there and you feel like someone's just gonna come out and kill you, like, it sounds dramatic, but sometimes that's really what it feels like. And if you have anxiety, I can guarantee you know what I'm talking about. And you're just sitting there, and sometimes it helps to just take a deep breath and then just remind yourself, like, it's just my anxiety. This isn't my reality. There's no one here. I'm in my house. I'm safe. There's, my husband's in the other room. The doors are locked. I live in a really safe town. Just kind of talking yourself down and just reminding yourself that just because you're thinking something in your head or feeling a certain way doesn't mean that, the outside matches that. It's not your reality just because you think it. I hope that made sense. Makes sense to me, but I hope it makes sense to you guys. The next thing that I do is list all the things I'm grateful for. If this one's a really good one, it kind of goes in with one of my other tips of like distracting myself. So if you're feeling really anxious, I will do this literally anywhere, and that's why I like this one, because you can do it in your head. So even if I can only get one deep breath in, or if I'm like in a meeting and I don't want to be sitting there like taking obvious deep breaths, you can always in your head be listing things that you're grateful for. And if you're in a moment of like a pretty bad attack, it can be hard. Sorry guys, my throat started to hurt. It can be hard to think of the things that you are grateful for. So in that scenario, I honestly just start with the basics. So if I can think of nothing else, I'm like, I'm so grateful that I'm just sitting here. I'm so grateful that I'm breathing, that I can see, that I can speak, that I can hear, that I can film this video. I'm so grateful that I have this shirt to wear. I'm grateful if I'm driving. I'm grateful for this car that's able to drive me from A to B. I just kind of start with the most basic thing I can think of, and then I'll work my way up into the bigger things. I think that they're all equally important to express gratitude for, but it just helps to start with like what you might consider something smaller. So like breathing, I'm so grateful I can breathe, and going kind of up from there. It really helps to at least calm me down and remind me again that, this is a crappy feeling, but I have all of these other things to be grateful for, and that right now it's not okay, but the majority of the time things are okay, and I'm really blessed. I think that's really important. For other distractions, if, I've done that and that's not working, or I'm just not in the mood to do that, or I don't have like the attention span to keep doing it, YouTube actually helps me a lot. So that can be either filming like I'm doing now. This is really calming for me. I think it's fun. It's a hobby. It doesn't stress me out. So it definitely can help distract me if I was feeling anxious, and then kind of make me put all my energy into something else. And watching YouTube helps a lot. Sometimes if I'm feeling anxious, I'll look up other people's videos. I'll just type in anxiety into the search bar on YouTube. Sometimes I'll just watch my favorite YouTubers, or sometimes I'll just look up music videos. Like, it doesn't matter, but I'm sure everyone can relate that even if they're not doing it because they're feeling anxious, YouTube can be quite a distraction. What else? So the next thing, I guess, would be letting somebody know. Like, letting somebody know that you're feeling anxious, or you're having these thoughts, whatever they are, whatever's happening or not happening, and you're just feeling a certain way, letting somebody know. Because anxiety, as with a lot of mental health disorders, are internal. So, I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you guys. Meanwhile, inside, I could be freaking out. My blood pressure could be through the roof. I could be like just waiting for the roof to fall. Like, I could be really flipping out. I'm not, to be clear, I'm not, but like I could be, and I could just kind of look normal, like I'm okay. You can be going about your normal routine at work and you look perfectly fine and people think everything's okay, whatever the case is. So sometimes it can help to just kind of let someone you trust and respect know how you're feeling. And for me, that's usually my husband or like a couple of my closest friends. I'll just shoot them a text, and just like if I'm at work, I'll shoot them a text and say like, hey, like I'm kind of freaking out right now, I'm feeling anxious, or I'll describe a situation that's making me feel that way if there is one. If it's in person, then it's usually my husband because I see him the most, obviously. And it really does help sometimes just to voice it, and they can't make the anxiety go away, but sometimes you just need a hug and you just don't want to feel alone. So you can feel anxious and you can feel anxious with somebody else, and it just feels better. I hope that makes sense. It makes sense to me. And something else that really helps, and the last tip that I have here, is to just listen to calming music, either in the moment or even outside of it. I have I think it's literally just called the Calm Meditation like station on Pandora. I play that in the background like 80% of the time. If I'm at work, it's on like medium volume in the background. It's just very soft, what you would find in like a spa or something. Music. If I'm feeling anxious, I'll blast it. If I'm in the car and I'm feeling anxious, I'll put it on. If it's not already on. It just really helps, even if you're not realizing that it's on. Sometimes I'll feel myself kind of like, oh, why do I have that pit in my stomach all of a sudden? And then like the music in the background will just kind of help to be like, don't go there, just kind of start all those techniques now so it doesn't come into a full-blown panic attack. I find that it really helps. So if you haven't discovered that yet, then you should definitely give it a shot. Just kind of playing music pretty often when you're in bed, just kind of throughout your whole day. I think it'll help. And if you are someone who's not, if you have anxiety and you don't want to take medication, or you can't, or whatever the case is, something that I find helps a little bit at least is the Calm drink, the magnesium. It's called the Calm drink. If you Google that or Amazon it, it should come up. It's a magnesium supplement. Helps calm you a little bit. It helps a lot with sleep. It didn't help me with panic attacks, but it did help me with like kind of just general mild anxiety. So that's something you could maybe look into if you're interested. I will try to put the link to that below if anybody anybody wants to look into it. But that is it for this video. My YouTube friend Alesha Catherine is going to be doing a video about anxiety as well. It should be up already. Please check her out. It's a question and answer from her subscribers, and then really just whatever she kind of wants to talk about and her perspective on things. I really think opening up the conversation and kind of hearing how other people deal with things and what they think is a really good idea, especially around, like in general, but especially around mental health. I will link her video down below. Check her out. Let her know that I sent you. Subscribe to her. She does all sorts of videos, honestly. She will do the video that I'm going to link you to. She does hauls. She does makeup. Question and answer. She just did the whisper challenge. It was really funny. You need to check it out. Show her some love. If you are new to my channel, hello, I'm Jessica. Thank you for watching. Please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video from me. And everyone who is not new, thank you for continuing to watch. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.